Hi. So I haven't done an update since week 2, and the reason for that is partly because of everything that was happening in South Africa with Fees Must Fall. I just felt that it wasn't the right time to talk about anything other than Fees Must Fall and what's happening in South Africa. Also, I was just incredibly busy with work last week. But what was great about that was that it was the first week where I felt like I was just, being Germaine, going about my life. It wasn't like I had the time to be so self-aware and kind of like I speak about a friend of mine has just started tea last night, and I said to him that he should be aware of being so, like incredibly hyper aware of what's happening in his body from now on. And it's because we expect as much as we know changes aren't going to occur overnight, we kind of expect it as well. So it's just been really cool to kind of go about being me on tea without it being a big issue. That was helped by the fact that I have been feeling much better. I spoke about just before week 2 about feeling really shitty. I was on 0.5 of 100 mils of depot tea, and before my second shot I was just really not feeling well. Up until my third shot I wrote about feeling depressed and irritable. And as with everything, you're never sure what it is exactly, what the cause is, whether it was the tea or whether it was the fact that I'd been so tired leading up to taking the tea because of the emotional onslaught of coming out and telling everyone and getting myself ready. So all of that, those emotions, and I think it was a lot of everything. But from the third shot, I went up to 1 ml of 100 mils of depot tea per week, which was my original prescription from the doctor. I decided to do 0.5 instead because the doctor's used to dealing with trans guys and FTMs, and as a non-binary person I was just worried that the changes would be too immediate, and that I wouldn't be able to deal with them emotionally, which was again part of the kind of thought process that it would all kind of happen immediately and overnight. But I'm feeling, along with increasing my dose, I have also been going back to gym, not as much as I usually do, but have been training again and have been eating properly again. That's kind of just part of the process of what happens when I'm not feeling great, is everything goes for a ball of shit. And as much as I know that eating well and training is good for me, when I'm not feeling well, it's the last thing I want to do, and I kind of self-soothe / self-destruct by eating sugar and just kind of comfort food, which really just does nothing except make me feel like shit. So feeling better. Wow. In terms of changes, I've noticed. So it's almost a month. It'll be a month on Sunday since I've been on it. And so in general, I have noticed the biggest thing is my hair getting more grey. You can't see it so much now because I had a haircut, and the grey is very much here and here, but you can see there. Anyway, I don't know if you can see. It doesn't matter, and it's not in my head. Even my hairdresser remarked on it, and I'm cool with that. I've never had an issue with grey hair. It's kind of I deserve this, I deserve these grey hairs. I've earned every single one of them, so I'm cool with it. And it's probably also just a process of the hair thinning, which I have heard happens. Apart from that, my skin has gotten a lot more oily, and I've broken out, mainly on my face, particularly the jawline area, which is pretty typical, apparently, and then my back. So it's not tremendously awful, but I will be speaking to the doctor about acne treatment when I see him next week for my first blood test to check my T levels. Other than that, I have been feeling more, I have more stamina at gym when I'm training. I'm not sure yet about strength, whether it's just an increase in energy, which I definitely have, or whether it's actual strength. I'm actually stronger. Also, I haven't been going to gym as often as I would in the past, so it's difficult for me to tell. But definitely more stamina. I've also noticed increased sex drive. Because I'm on antidepressants, I'm on Epilum, which is a mood stabilizer, and Arapax, which is an antidepressant. I've been on those since my early 20s. I'm now 38, so it's kind of par for the course. So because I'm on those, my sex drive is dampened in general, and on the T, because I've spoken to my trans guy friends who are not on medication, and the ones who are, on psych medication do have the not decreased but dampened T sex drive. Whereas the guys that aren't on the antidepressants speak about having to masturbate 3 times a day just to kind of get through the day. And I must say I'm quite relieved that I'm not experiencing that. It's great that my sex drive is still manageable. And it's not an urgent feeling, except I have noticed the last 2 shots. I'm very turned on after immediately after my shots, like an hour or so later. But other than that, during the week, it's just kind of something that I feel but don't have an urgent need to deal with. So it's there, but it's really nothing that interferes with my life. And then the other thing I've noticed, I will measure myself, but I have noticed just in the mirror that fat is redistributing. As you guys know, I'm overweight, so it wouldn't be as obvious as with guys who are at their goal body weight. But I'm starting to see more definition in my arms and my legs, and will be able to tell whether it's just in my head or real when I measure, but it looks like my hips are narrowing, which is really great. Yeah, something that I've been dealing with this month is, so as I say, I've been busy, really busy the last 10 days, which has calmed down this week. I took this week off just to kind of catch up with everything. So before having taken this week off, just been really busy and then giving myself a break, my body a break to kind of adjust on the tea. So I haven't been going to gym as often. Normally I would go to gym 4 to 5 times a week and do weight training, lifting heavy, with a little bit of cardio thrown in. Since I started the tea, my doctor said that in order to lose weight, it would be great to kind of start with 20 minutes of cardio, then do 40 minutes of weight training, and then end off with 10 minutes of cardio again. So I've done that a few times since beginning, but I really have not been going to gym as much. So, and apart from it being the kind of I'm giving myself a break, I have been feeling depressed, have been busy. It's more than that, and I realized what it was yesterday, that I even before the testosterone, I am a big-bodied person, and I build muscle quite easily, and I just I think I'm scared of exactly how big I'm going to get muscular-wise on T, and because I'm non-binary, I don't want that to, I don't want to, I mean, I don't know, it's rational, irrational, whatever, I don't want to like explode, you know, and so I wanted to kind of be able to have my head and my emotions catch up with changes before they really start, and also because my partner, you know, is still struggling with the transition idea. For her sake, I don't want to kind of expand exponentially. So I've been taking it easy on gym. But now that I know that, and also because not going to gym, I only feel really good when I am going to gym and training. So my plan is to get back to gym and just really focus on eating well so that I can begin to shed the weight and build the muscle, because I am ready for all of that stuff now. Something else I noticed is that my period was shorter this month. It's normally 5 days, and I normally have quite significant pain on the first, second, and then again on the fourth day, to the point where I have to take painkillers, and I don't take painkillers for anything, not even headaches. Whereas this month it was 3 days instead of 5, and there was slight discomfort on day 1, but didn't have to take painkillers. Yeah, I'm just kind of shocked that it went away after 3 days, which was really awesome. And yeah, looking forward to that going away in apparently month 3 or 4, depends on the guy. I have a friend who his period stopped after month 1, so yeah, exciting stuff. And then just emotionally, I'm feeling more centered. I'm feeling more confident in myself. And you know what? I'm not going to say it's the tea. Yes, it is the tea, but it's kind of this progression. Like a friend of mine said last night, someone asked him when he started transitioning. And while he started testosterone 2 years ago, his transition started, you know, from the day he was born. And I like that idea. It's a lifelong process, and you're trans before you realize you're trans. You're transitioning before you know you are, and the tea is definitely not some kind of miracle drug where you suddenly feel more positive. I think it's about the fact that you are, or for me, I'm owning my journey. I am consciously taking a syringe and the ritual of setting up the shot. I love that. That's why I chose the shot and not the cream, because it's this conscious ritual of 10 minutes where you set up the shot, and it's this conscious decision to, I am owning my life, I'm owning my body, and I am making these changes. So yeah, I think it's about the tea as part of owning the process to manage your life and change your life and change your body, and live your truth. And since manifesting that desire to own myself, I am feeling more confident, and it shows itself in ways like just being able to be more silly, being able to be more spontaneous, and I love that because I'm very serious. I don't know if you've noticed, and the ability to be silly with my friends is really great, because normally I would only be silly with my partner, which is one of the reasons why I love her so much, is I can be myself with her, but I'm finding that that's moving into other realms of my life as well. Just to share something quickly with you guys, I 2 weeks ago had I work from home, but the company I work for, we had a team building exercise, for lack of a better word, where we were looking at the Beatles as examples of people who were the best at what they did, and our job was to look at their history and their music and explain why the Beatles were so successful. And I had to stand up in front of 80 people and dance along to the Beatles and sing along to the Beatles and present part of the presentation. And first of all, I really owned the project. Even though I'm a freelancer and not full time, I took on the bulk of the project and wrote the presentation, designed the presentation, and then decided to present. And so, first of all, just more confidence there. Sorry, a bit of background. I have been chronically shy. When I was young, people used to come up to me. I remember once at a brownie camp, and one of the older girl guides said to me, "Can you speak? Are you deaf and dumb, or can you speak?" And that was kind of, yeah, up until my early 30s. That was me. Just really didn't ever speak, was too shy to answer the phone, too shy to speak to waiters, used to sit in the bathrooms in between lectures at university, because I was too shy to speak to people, used to take my book between university lectures and go and sit on the grass and read it by myself. Just a chronically shy person, to the point where I definitely had social phobia, kind of Asperger-like tendencies, where I have to sit in a certain seat and go to a certain restaurant. Otherwise, I would just not cope with the anxiety. So yeah, and now people describing me as outgoing and having the gift of the gab, which is it's surreal. And yet they're right. So in growing to be more confident, this presentation was. I got home afterwards, and what was amazing was not only did I write and do all of that for the presentation and present it, I didn't just present the slides. Suddenly, without planning, I was just going to read the slides, and all of a sudden, without me planning anything, I was acting out the slides. I pretended to be Ringo, and I was funny and witty, and people were laughing and came up to me afterwards and said how funny I was, and it was a really great feeling, and it was like, Jesus, this is me, this is who I am, this is who I was always meant to be, and I'm finally owning that, I mean, I don't know how much you guys know about my journey, but if you read my blog, and I was chronically depressed, suicidal, was told I would never be functional, that I would be in and out of mental institutions. And there I was, owning myself, giving a talk about being authentic, and standing there in my binder on tea, playing one of the Beatles and being authentic. And I remember watching an Oprah episode where she interviewed pedophiles, and she asked one of them, what is the worst thing you did to this child? And I remember his answer, I'll never forget it, and because you would think the worst thing you did to a child that you abused was to sexually abuse them, but he said, the worst thing I did to her was to take away the person she could have been. And as someone who was abused at the age of 3, that's how I felt. In my 20s, in the midst of my depression and my being suicidal, it was this feeling that, how did this happen? This is not supposed to be. This is not. How did I get so fucked up? And kind of trying to blame society and my parents and my biology, and having for the last 10 years kind of gotten to the point where I actively said, you know what, I can mourn the fact that I didn't have a great and textbook childhood. I can mourn the fact that, yes, I was fucked up, that something was taken away from me, but no one's gonna save me or change my life except me, and I can't wait for a magic pill or a magic doctor or a magic relationship to save me. And I actively realized that no one and nothing was going to save me. It did take 10 years of lying in psychiatric hospitals to realize that. And then once I realized that and made that decision, it was kind of like, well, you could either kill yourself, or you can lie in these mental hospitals, or you can actively choose to live, and not just survive, but live. And living is not easy. No one said it was going to be. I don't know where we came up with this sense of entitlement that life is supposed to be easy, but it's bullshit. And yeah, so I rambling, but I actively decided to take back the person that was taken from me, and not just find her, find the little girl Germaine, find the Germaine that he took away, but to recreate an even more amazing being and self and potential. And I'm feeling that a lot more tangibly, that's exactly what I've done. And making this very firm decision in the face of extreme terror and not knowing what's going to happen and not knowing what I'm going to look like 2 months from now, but knowing that I am taking the reins of my body, over my body and myself and my future. And that sense of agency is just very empowering, and I'm just, yeah. I wish my therapists could see me now. I wish those people who told me that I would be in and out of Stagfontein could see me now. And more importantly, I just want to, I'm just very grateful to 20-year-old to 30-year-old Germaine for not killing themselves, because it really, I mean, to say it gets better is an understatement. It gets fantastic, and I'm just really glad I have this opportunity to do all of this and to experience all of this. And as I was saying to someone yesterday, speaking about their depression, yes, it sucks. Yes, it's fucking hard. It's fucking lonely. But you're given one life, you know? And in the greater scheme of billions of people on the planet, you, with your privilege of not having to fight for basic human rights and water and education, like, who the fuck are you to take what you have and not do something with it? And as difficult as that is, and I'm not saying it doesn't take tremendous amounts of bravery, yeah, I'm blabbing, but I'm really looking forward to month 2. And this is because this is just the beginning. And I said to people when I started testosterone that it would be like this explosion of me that I would kind of catapult out of myself. And I feel that beginning. And as I said, it's not the testosterone itself. It's just this whole journey and choosing to own it. So thanks, guys. See you next time.